I feel my art represents my life in a way. I have a real appreciation of nature and God's works, and a number of my paintings have depicted that. Namely, they're pictures of animals, landscapes, countrysides, paintings like, of birds, butterflies, countryside flowers, even, yes, natural things. And it's important to me, and I really like it and appreciate it, and really enjoy showing that in my artwork.
You can see the sculpture that I've made. That represents many, many different periods during my life. There are different situations that have occurred. And so you'll notice that I've used many different types of materials, many contrasting materials. There's steel, felt, velvet, organza. I've used light and dark colours together. And so putting them all together, it helps us to understand how contrasting things can work well together.
I like art.
What else do you like about art?
Doing flowers in the garden, in the house.
I started gathering all sorts of bits and bobs for my artwork, such as jewellery, different objects as well, such as the dice, or earrings, or many, many other bits and bobs I gathered together to use in my artwork. On the strings attached to my artwork, I had various objects attached to them, and it told the story of my life from babyhood up till now. I like to use a visual medium in my artwork. I would include how important my eyes are in my artwork as well. And I've used a projector to be shown on the backdrop behind my artwork many of the things that were portrayed during my life. So really, I started to look at the various photographs and objects that I'd been able to gather throughout my life from babyhood, and it brought back memories of many good times, happy times, sad times that I'd experienced as I journeyed through my life, right up until now.
I think that my work represents my attempts at recovery or working towards well-being rather than my lived experience. To support my well-being, I want to build a consistent practice of making art as a way of creative expression and as a soothing and distressing activity. My artwork represents my life in that it is based on my interests and my values for creative expression and visual representation. I haven't chosen to represent the struggles and barriers of my lived experience in my artwork products. However, the process of art making does, by its inherent nature, become a metaphor for facing challenges, persisting with difficulty, and accepting situations as they are. I can then take these lessons learned in art making around these themes and apply them to other areas of my life. To be honest, it feels like a pretty slow process though. It doesn't benefit from constant looking for results, but rather I focus on keeping on showing up to art making and accepting where I'm at.
Maybe you're wondering who I am. I'm a deaf person and have been deaf all my life. I'm also a deaf mum, and I have 3 children who have normal hearing, but they can sign very fluently with me because we've used sign language since they were tiny.
My artwork. Show me about everything, about people and me. My artwork show me how when I was a baby, I thought my father can't hear because I can't hear. Other everyone can't hear either. I was like, I was just a baby because of my deaf problem. Because I can't hear. My deaf problem is different. I didn't know much very well. I was showing me about society, how people get together. Many people get together in society. I'm going in one part of society. Oh, me in society too. Oh, I was just world, I know nothing, but when I became older, I started to learn all the time. When I was young, I didn't learn. But when I'm older, I'm starting to learn. They were much better, Although they were better, They were better than all of them.
I'm a deaf woman, profoundly deaf. I grew up without any communication skills at all. I didn't have sign language, I wasn't able to write in English. And so throughout my life I've struggled with that. It was difficult to express how I felt. So I used to imagine things in picture form. This is the only way I could express how I felt, and this went on for many years when I held all my emotions together until I was introduced to artwork. You'll notice here the different figures in this current art piece. One figure here is trapped, unable to move, but later on it's able to fly away and feel the freedom of expression. So we speak about 3 different types of culture: our own language, English, and also Auslan. So the 3 of them are very, very different, but they're all part of deaf culture. But if we don't have language, we just lose everything. And for many, many years, all I was able to do was express myself through painting and artwork.
I came to thinking when I was with Al, we started brainstorming and working towards looking at my identity and my culture. So I'm a child of an immigrant family, was born here, but come from an area in India called Goa, and haven't really been able to be fully surrounded by the culture, the Indian culture, living here. I do have my family, but I have grown up quite surrounded by Australian way of life. So decided to sort of amalgamate it by making botanical Aussie natives and then doing a bit of Indian flowers as well. The reason why I chose the background of my engineering work was showing how I had always just relied on accessing my left-hand brain. But now it seems to, with the creative side, looking at the duality of actually looking at my right-hand brain with the liner prints and then putting it on the background of my past, and maybe something that's still part of me, which I hope to return back to with the fluid dynamic solutions behind it. So a bit of the contrast, duality, and a bit of connection between the processes itself.
Art gives me life. It helps me a lot with figuring out my thoughts and showing me things that were hidden subconsciously might come out in my art. Not always, but sometimes. Every day I'm creating, so it is life for me. It gives me motivation and calm in my brain. And art gives me that. Therefore, art is life.
So art really is fantastic. So what do you think when you look at art? It's not always the way you perceive it to be. So sometimes you think of a different way, different option, different things that can be included in art to make it fabulous. So sometimes it connects with how you feel, the bigger picture of how you feel. Or there are different types of interpretation that can be put upon an art piece.
My artwork makes me feel good whenever I do it. It is something really positive to me, something I enjoy doing, a relaxing type of hobby as well as a creative one, and one that I really have something to show for. It helps me with my creative expression. The more I do it, the more skills I develop, and the better I become, which I really enjoy seeing as well in my works. Yes, I love the feeling of creating things, of making creative articles like bags or paintings or drawings or even clothing. And I like to do that, to make things, because it's an expression of myself and I can put in my own personal touch in there with my colours. I generally like bright colours.
When I'm doing lots of different things, not necessarily related to my photographic work, but I'm looking at things using different materials, not, let's say, using photographic paper, but other things, making different shapes out of clay, getting my fingers involved in working the sculptors. There's a lot of work, it's a lot of challenge for me, and it helped me to realise just how much I've been through. Because my life is really related to the artwork. It's like communicating back and forth about the things that have happened in my life. And I realise then it's time to think about the benefits for me and how the art connects with the real world. And it shows me about things about my life.
Something to do. Because it makes me more. I like it here.
I'm very happy to be involved in community art. It makes me feel so good. Previously I'd suffered with depression a lot, but now I'm feeling so much better. I feel very positive, And I'm very glad to be involved with this. So thank you so much. Love to you all.
I have a high value for creativity and appreciation of aesthetics. That said, I struggle and have an ambivalent relationship to actually making art. I simultaneously really want to do it, and some other part of me puts equal effort into avoiding doing it. I want to have a consistent practice of making art to express myself creatively and have a soothing, relaxing way of de-stressing. The problem is, another part of me wants to hide and feels vulnerable and unsafe when I express myself and ideas in any form. Also, my less healthy ways of soothing and de-stressing are very habitual and strongly ingrained, while art is not a habit for me yet. It's all pretty exhausting, but I persist because when I can manage to do some art, I mostly enjoy it. I have hope that this can increase.
I have been painting for many years. You help me so much. You help me so much. Because I learn about many people have gone to work. Many people have time. I go to work. Like doctor and nursing, shoemaker. You show me who am I? What am I? I didn't get to know myself. I thought I was puppet. I thought I was puppet, not really, no. But it's up to me what I want, what I like. Well, it's up to me, you know. Many people love my painting. Some love my painting so much. Not everyone, but many people love my painting.
Well, painting helps me to really express myself and feel much better. Because for years I didn't have any communication skills, but I had so many ideas running around in my head. So when I can express them through my artwork, well, this is how, for me, it gives me such a lot of satisfaction and happiness. So we have all different types of art, such as the one I've just completed.
Slowly the art, doing things creatively and working with people who make art has helped me find some purpose again and be able to access parts of my brain I didn't even think was there. So it's funny how against the painting, which has forced me to, just completely forget about mistakes, with lino, I can sort of do something that's a bit more comfortable with what I'm more used to, but it still rewards me with the feeling of joy that I used to get from doing hand calculations and being able to discover new things and build new things. So it's not exactly the same, but there's parallels. Yeah. And now working with you guys, I'm sort of actually being able to finally look towards the next day, the next week, and maybe the next year, thinking of ideas to blend my skills of the past with new creative skills. Yeah.
So I think it's incredible what you and Al do, with people. You really change, really change people's lives and see the world differently and themselves. It makes,